Hey there, folks. How you doing today? Hope you're having an awesome day. Well, it's Tuesday, so we're going to jump on that open tag with that fine fella Tom over at Knife Delights. And we're going to do a 2 for Tuesday. That's where you just grab 2 knives and have a chat about them. We can see I got 2 knives here. They kind of look the same. That's because they are. I picked up 2 of these knives because I'm going to pass one along. But before we do that, I thought I'd do a video. So this knife is the Grohmann Knives Canada 340S Mini Russell Lockback. This is a miniature version of the 300S. And that knife is the folding version of the original D.H Russell belt knife. So the 300S came into production in 1963. It's 5 inches closed, has a 3 3/4 inch stainless steel blade, and the overall length is 3 3/4 inches. Nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver pins. Handle material options for that one are rosewood, wine, extra resin wood, black linen micarta, water buffalo horn, or stag. So the Mini comes with just the rosewood handles, no other options. You've got your nickel silver bolsters with some threading, nickel silver pins, everything nice and flush. Blade alignment right down the center. It is a midlock and a bare head. You have a 3-inch blade, a hollow grind, leaf shape, drop point, some very nice swedging at the top, nail nick to open it, and some very nice jimping on the spine. There is your tang stamp, Grohmann, Pictou, Nova Scotia. You'll notice a little S here that denotes this is a factory second. So a lot of companies will grind off their tang stamp. Grohmann leaves the tang stamp, but just etches an S in there to show it's a factory second. Handle design is very nice. You have a cutaway here for your first 2 fingers to drop into, and then your last 2 fingers can lock back here. Sweeps down to fit nicely into your palm. It's great in various grips. That jimping is just perfect. It's got an inset to it for your thumb, and it just positions really nicely for your thumb. Sits really well in there. And it's aggressive enough for traction, but not so much that it's going to tear at your thumb or a glove or whatever you're wearing. Very secure open, absolutely no blade play. Now this is a factory second, and you might be wondering why it's a factory second. Both knives are factory seconds. Here's your other one. Everything exactly the same. Centering is perfect. Nice and tight, no blade play. Everything nice and flush. So if we compare the two, you'll notice right there on this one, there's a little bit of extra space where the spring comes to the spacer. That's why this one's a factory second. Just that little bit of space right in there. Doesn't affect the action or the mechanism of the knife. Like I say, everything is nice and tight. Everything works fine, everything nice and smooth. But they just weren't happy with that extra bit of a gap there. Why is this one a factory second? Well, it's not the spacing there. But if you look real close, the handle covers aren't exactly the same shade. This one is slightly darker, a little bit of red to it. This one's slightly lighter and more tan. So they weren't happy that the 2 covers didn't match up well enough. How many knives have you seen where the show side and pile side covers have different texturing or different color, the die took differently? They just don't match up at all. Well, Grohmann wasn't happy with that, so because those 2 covers were slightly different in color, this becomes a factory second. Now the two knives do not come with a sheath, but this is the sheath option they have for it. It comes separately, and this is the $15.95 sheath. Snap enclosure. You got your Grohmann stamp here on the cover. Stitching is very nice. We can see that with both sheaths. And you'll see both of these are marked as factory seconds. And Grohmann just, if they need a if they need a sheath for a knife, they just grab a sheath, stamp an S on it, just so both are marked as factory seconds. The knife fits very securely inside, doesn't move around. Now they're pass-through belt loops. That's not my favorite. I prefer stitched on because a pass-through allows your belt to possibly rub against the knife. And that can wear on your belt or your knife, but these ones are very well made. And I don't know if you can see down the side here, right there, they actually glue a piece of felt over the back of the snap so that that doesn't wear on your knife. So that's a pretty nice detail. Are they sharp out of the box? Yep. How do they compare to some other knives? Well, here is a buck 112. Now, I like to kind of make the comparison that the 300S is kind of the production equivalent to your buck 110. The 340S is kind of the production equivalent to your buck 112. Close length. Your buck's maybe 1/8 to 2/8 inches longer. Open length. Again, your buck is just a smidge longer. Blade length. Your Grohmann comes in just a smidge longer than your buck. Both have a hollow grind. Blade stock is relatively equivalent, maybe a hair wider with the Grohmann. Nail nick. Handle width. Now you'll notice your Grohmann tapers from the back to the bolster. So at the bolster, the buck is significantly wider. Once you get to the end, they're pretty much equivalent in width. The tapering with the Grohmann does allow for a nice purchase in your hand because it gets wider to the end. So it kind of helps secure it in your hand a little bit. Now a boat. Okay, sawed buster. So your sawed buster is a little bit shorter, maybe 1/3 of an inch. Overall length, you probably got 3/4 of an inch to an inch longer for your Grohmann, and probably about a 1/4 inch longer on your blade. Blade stock is noticeably thicker on your Grohmann, and at the bolster, the covers are pretty close to the same, but by the time you get to the end, you can see the Grohmann is much thicker. Price-wise, if you want a first production run, the retail price on those is $98. They currently have a sale on right now for $83.30. If you want a factory second, they go for $49. All their factory seconds are half price. The sheath new is about $30 for a first production run. If you want a factory second, it comes in at about $16. So there you have it, folks. That's my entry for this week's 2 for Tuesday. The D.H Russell 340S mini lockback. I like it. I think it's a good knife. And you can't beat it for the price. Even on a first production run, 98 bucks. You can't beat it. And they're so fussy with their fit and finish and quality control. You can pick up what I would consider essentially a first production run. The issues are so minor, like 49 bucks. Very hard to beat it. Anyway, folks, that'll be it for today. You know what I always say, life's getting you down. Had a rough day, go spend some time in the woods. Go tell all your troubles to the trees and the animals. They may not care, but at least you get it off your chest. Nobody's going to talk back to you. If you do, take a knife with you. Might just come in handy. Y'all take care.